Hey guys, this is Gankmeister, and we're doing a cube draft. This is a cube I and some of my friends put together. I enjoy drafting it. There's only 4 of us right now, so it's going to be a little different than an 8-person draft. Here, my pick would be Fact or Fiction or Demonic Tutor. Um, it's basically, as far as power level and flexibility goes, the picks that I would take. Not really anything. Vampiric Tutor is comparable to Demonic Tutor, but since it puts on top of your library, the Demonic Tutor tends to be better, although you can cast that at the end of turn. So I'm going to take Fact or Fiction, because I like that card. Alright, we have some options, but the best option and the one that is most flexible would be Sophie, because I think this is probably still the best sword. And it lets us stay open. Skull Clamp is good, but you have to know whether you're going to be playing a lot of creatures or not. And since I first picked a blue card, it's not as likely than, say, if I picked a green card, where I could be sure to get some elves or something to just, sacrifice for 2 cards. The other cards, there's some good cards, but this one is the most flexible one. So I like this program, but one of the things about it is that sometimes cards don't show up because of formatting. But this is the format that lets me plug the text file into Magic and just get a deck without having to search, so that's what we'll use. There's not a lot of blue here, but there is Force of Will. If I'm going to play blue, Force of Will is a great thing to have. The problem, though, is I can't know for sure whether someone else is heavy blue or not because of the limited number of packs we're opening, since there's only 4 of us, and the fact that the distribution is weird sometimes, because you see there's these 4 lands, and not like there's only this one blue-black card to represent black here. So Finkel's good, but I haven't really started drafting blue-black yet, so I'm just going to take Force of Will and hope that blue pans out. Okay. Here it looks like either blue's getting cut or there wasn't a lot of it opened. In that case, generally I would take Mind Shatter, because random discard is really good. Mind Twist is in the cube, and that would be better because it's just the same card for 1 less black mana, but Mind Shatter is still not too shabby. I don't really like Molten Tail Mastercore personally, so I'm going to take Mind Shatter. So we should see my opening pack again here. Alright, so we have some options. Brainstorm is good. I like Arbiter. That adds white, and I'm going to see if black holds out. Sphinx is a good win condition. Shroud in this format is actually really good. Also, there's Mesmeric Fiend. Because often it's hard to find early drops in blue-black, possibly because of the way our cube is set up. I think I'm going to take Fiend. Go for the Throat is good removal, but there's a lot of removal in the cube, so there's not many cards that have the same effect as the Fiend. It'd be safer to take Brainstorm or Sphinx, but I think they might wheel, so I'm going to take this Fiend. Okay, here I get to take Tar Pit. I could take Mystical Teachings, but Tar Pit's going to be really good for me, especially if I'm black-blue. This pack didn't have much for me before, but Finkel is missing, and that's troubling. It makes me think that someone else would be going black-blue. So I might have to jump ship and find some new combination. Or I could splash, say, white with, have like an Esper deck. And if you get enough mana fixing, you can do something like that. So I'm going to actually take the Hallowed Fountain. Alright. Masticor is a card that you can play in any deck, but it's not really good unless you have enough creatures for its first ability to be relevant. I love Momentary Blink, but I don't know if this is the deck for it if I'm just splashing white. I think the best pick would be to take Rupture Spire so that I have a better chance of having a better mana base. Better chance. Okay, so someone did take Go for the Throat, and someone did take Brainstorm. So there are two people in the colors that I am in. So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. I think I will take Sphinx. I still want to play blue, so we'll take the Sphinx. Mystical Teachings, it's not very good for me right now. I mean, it gets fact. Actually, that's pretty good. I think, well, either I'm taking the Signet or Teachings, and you really need mana acceleration, artifact acceleration in this format. The safer pick would be the Signet, but I think Mystical Teachings for fact or fiction is good enough. Alright. I can take the land. Storage lands are good even if they're off color because of the huge effect they have in the late game if you've been storing counters constantly. I'm not really worried about any of those cards. Here I could take the land, which would be like extremely flexible mana, but I really like Blink, so I'm taking that. Pithing Needle is absolutely the pick. We'll take Chronarch, and then we end up with Dragonlord. Alright, so Numat the Devastator is 3, white, blue, red, and it's a dragon that's a 6/6, and whenever you deal combat damage, I think it is to an opponent, you can pay 2 in a red, make them kill one of their lands. I mean 2 of their lands. And so that's a reasonable dragon, but people aren't usually in that color. The best cards in here from a flexibility and power standpoint are Precursor Golem, and then there's also Metamorph. But Precursor Golem is actually nuts because of the nature of the cube. We have a lot of spot removal, but people don't end up playing a lot of it because there are sweepers and other answers, and some of the better win conditions are dodge, your vindicate and things like that. So Precursor Golem is awesome. And I actually just noticed Coalition Relic, so I'm kind of torn between Coalition Relic and the Golem. Relic is obscene, just because of the acceleration it provides and the mana fixing. So looking at what I've taken so far, I'm going to take the Golem, but Coalition Relic is definitely not coming back. Graveborn Muse is something that I will hopefully get out of here. There's also land and these blue spells, but I'll take Golem. Okay. So I'm going to get a lot of white out of this pack whether I want it or not. The best removal spell is Swords. It's just awesome. Karmic Guide is a great card, but personally, since I'm also just mainly blue and only thinking about going into white, I am a personal fan of Draining Whelp, although it's expensive and sort of cumbersome, it's sometimes it just shuts people down. So I'm gonna take Draining Well. Couple cards I want out of here. I want the Aqueduct and Mana Leak, but I think what we're probably gonna take is Cloud Goat Ranger. It's kind of makes my mana base a little sketchy, but having creatures that produce an army is very handy in this format. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Wow. Okay. There's a lot of mana fixing in here that I would like. And then there's also Aether Vial and Mimic Bat, which are two amazing artifacts. Unfortunately, I don't think Aether Vial is going to be very good for me. Although I have Aether Vialed in a Draining Well. That was just the best. I'm going to take Mimic Bat because there are a lot of come into play effects of creatures, and if I can get anything with just a slight amount of value onto Mimic Bat, then it's a huge problem. I'll need to make sure to pick up some removal for Mimic Bat to be good, but it's something I don't want to deal with, especially in these colors, and it's very powerful. Hopefully I'll get Arcane Sanctum or Tundra out of there. Let's see. I have a Hallowed Fountain, which I could get with Flooded Strand. Compulsive Research is good. I think I'm going to take the Compulsive Research, and generally when you get to a certain point, you end up just taking cards based on priority of what you need in your deck, and sort of expect some other cards that will fill out your deck to wheel. So right now I'm prioritizing less mana fixing and more just some solid meat of the deck. Okay, it's Braids. Exclude is good, and Root. I could play Wasteland. I can play the crime portion of Crime and Punishment, but unless you can play both, it's not entirely worth it. Innocent Blood is okay. Hopefully I'll get Slaughter Pact. I think what I'm going to take is Exclude. I could play Owlkeeper. I'm definitely taking Aqueduct, though. Alright, so someone took the Arcane Sanctum. Surprised to see Aether Vial going this late. I'm going to take Tundra. Excuse me. I'm going to take Broken Ambitions. I'm taking a lot of blue cards because I'm thinking about Force of Will. I want to have enough cards for that card to be good. Also, I want to have enough cards so that holding up mana at the end of my opponent's turn is viable, so Draining Well is better. Slaughter Pact is a good card with Mystical Teachings. It's kind of an awkward removal spell, but sometimes you need a free spell. And that'll definitely be good with Mimic Bat. So I could take a Signet, which would be off color, which I kind of need. I'm not going to hate Plow Under. I'll just take this Boros Signet. Don't want to play against Plow Under, but I probably will end up playing Boros Signet anyway. So I don't really have any acceleration. Alright, so we have a playable counterspell and Bloodstained Mire and Ratchet Bomb. Right now, Bloodstained Mire doesn't really fetch anything for me. So I'm going to take Hinder. I definitely don't want to play against either of these cards, but so I'll take Spectre. Theoretically, I could even play it. Alright, so what do we have here? Some amazing red cards. Inferno Titan and Siege Gankmeister to the better win conditions. There's this Underground Sea, which I really want. Hex Parasite is good. Nevin Irol's Disc is good. Mole Drifter. This is a pretty good pack. Despise is a sort of a new addition. I think that could be good, but man, what I think I'm gonna take is Mole Drifter. No, crap. I don't know. I think I need to take Disc because it's a master removal spell, and I need that kind of thing. So this is an interesting pick. I'm taking Maloku or Liliana. Planeswalkers are really good, but Maloku is quite a win condition. I can deal with Maloku though. Liliana would be more of a problem for me. Also, it's good to have Planeswalkers. So I'm going to take Liliana. Wow, I have some options here. Balance is good, Necrotal is good, Sower is good. A lot of cards are good, but I think I'm going to take Sower. Shapeshifter is also an option, but Sower can carry a sword, and you know, it's good. So we're taking that. Alright, so let's see what's up here. Thrun the Last Troll and Kira Great Glass Spinner. Of these cards, Icy Manipulator might be my favorite, but Puppeteer Click is ridiculous in this format, because you end up with your opponent having these amazing creatures in their graveyard, and you get this effect twice when this dies, so a lot of ridiculous comebacks have been born on the back of Puppeteer Click. So we're going to take that. Also like Okiba Gang Shinobi, but I think the Click is just going to be better. Alright, so still some options here. I think we're going to take Underground Sea. I just want to have a good mana base. You might have noticed. I didn't really notice. I don't really have much white to splash. I could splash Cloud Goat Ranger. That's kind of embarrassing. So I should have been looking at splashing red, actually. But I generally just don't do that. So I wonder if we can make that happen. Regardless of that, I'm taking Mind Stone. I don't know. Maybe I'll just take Balance and be done with it. Power Sink is a reasonable counter spell. Let's see, what can I get back? Okiba Gang Shinobi. I don't have a lot of creatures that are good with that. I'll take Power Sink. At least I'll have a gigantic amount of counter spells to choose from. Okay, so we got Hex Parasite and Gladiator and Despise back. I haven't played with Gladiator, so I'm going to try that. I could play Angel of Despair. That might be worth, make my my white splash worth it. Death Denied could be annoying. The only thing I would play here is Okiba Gang Shinobi. We'll take Hex Parasite. And I'll take Chain Lightning. I don't think anyone's playing the red deck. Alright, so here's my deck. I'll build it and I'll show it to you, and then we'll get on some matches.